concerned citizens from our communities, joint communities, that decided they wanted to do something about it. They were familiar with something called the Rail Systems Act. And what this Systems Act allowed communities to do was to do something called rail banking a corridor. And when you rail bank a corridor, what you are doing is you're, in a normal abandonment, what happens is the railroad abandons, and then over a period of time, that property reverts back to the adjacent landowners. But that becomes their property. If you ever wanted to use this corridor again, you would have to go through eminent domain, all those kinds of things in order to reacquire the corridor. Ronald Reagan, in his wisdom back in the 1980s, felt like that in the future, seeing what was happening in Europe and other areas of the world, that there would be a need for this corridor. He also had national defense concerns. Should we see all these corridors disappear and should need them one day? So they enabled this, they came out with this act, which was part of an overall larger act, which preserve these corridors, at least enable municipalities and nonprofit organizations to step in and preserve these corridors for future use. Interim trail use allows us to bike, hike, use these corridors in the interim. They have the same rights as the railroad. But if we are ever asked again, say high-speed rail wants to come in and take our great-grandchildren across the country in a very short period of time, then this corridor is available. And we have to, or if you were the owner, you would have to make that available to any successor transportation company that had a legitimate need for the corridor. So this group of people came to the city of Albany and said, we'd like you to do this. We think this is in the best interest of our community. And they originally went to Cheehaw. Cheehaw was interested, but Lee County wasn't too thrilled about Albany running through the middle of Lee County. So things started to get sour for these group of individuals. They decided the best thing to do would be to form a nonprofit organization to take control of the corridor. And with the help of the Rails Trails Conservancy, in February 28th of 1997, the Rails Trails Conservancy approached the Surface Transportation Board, which was the former Interstate Commerce Commission at the time, and filed for interim trail use. Notice of interim trail use. South Georgia Rails to Trails, which was formed from people from Lee, Dougherty, and Terrell counties, since the corridor was in all three counties, and incorporated. We stepped in, we took control of the corridor. The Rails to Trails Conservancy basically used their expertise to help us to get it done, and we eventually took the property. So what we have done, basically, going back to day one, is preserve this corridor for our community because we believe it's the right thing to do. And we still believe that. These are valuable assets, tremendous assets for the communities who are using them. Since 1996-97, there's been an awful lot of development in this area. What I'm going to show you now are rail trails within a 200-mile radius of Leesburg. These have popped up. This is a pass around. That just shows some of the ones in Douglas, Moultrie, Athens, Tallulah Falls. There's a new one being proposed. They'll run the entire coast of Georgia. If you'll check where I've circled, those are the ones, and you can see where they are. So this is something we've got a great deal of experience in now, something we didn't have back over a decade ago. Now, that's the past. That's where we started. Everything that happened from that point to this point, as far as I'm concerned, does not matter. And that's why we're back. I'd like to approach this as if nothing happened. We now have different landowners I had lunch today with one of the landowners who was fully behind it. His only concerns are what's happening right now because it's not developed. You know, he's got a corridor running through his property that, you know, people walk along and it's not his, so he can't tell them to leave. Legitimate complaint, that's something that we need to take care of. But the proposal that we have for you today is the exact same proposal that we approached the municipalities with back in 1996. And that is, we think that you are in the best position with a county administrator who knows how to work things, who knows how to file for grants, who knows how to find the federal funds that are available to develop this type of trail. And there are matching funds out there, plenty of them. In fact, the gas tax provides for trail development funds that can only be used for trail development. My board consists of a lot of doctors. In fact, we have a fundraiser every year that the Garden County Medical Society does it specifically for us. We pass the hat, we pay the taxes, and we've kept this project alive just because we want to see a trail developed here one day, and we want to preserve this corridor for whatever needs developed for future generations. We, because of lots, let me say this. Let me say a little bit about the past. This little corridor here in Lee, Doherty, and Terrell counties has been one of the most tested legally corridors in the country. We've had to face lots of opposition from different sources, and I don't want to go through it, but through every test, we've defended it, spent a lot of our own money, sweat and tears, in order to keep this corridor available for our community. What I'm going to show you now are the cases. The first one, the very bottom one, is the one I gave you first, just the file for the abandonment. If you'll go to this website, the Surface Transportation Board website, you can read about every single one of the cases that we have had to face. And that's a good reference point to start from, to learn a little bit about this corridor. But during the process of this, we incurred a little bit of debt. We owe $100,000 roughly. It's not a problem for us. We'll continue to pass the hat around and we'll continue to take care of this corridor. But we would like for our municipalities who are in the position to develop it out, in the position as elected officials, to do what's in the best interest of the community. We simply did not have the political will, honestly, previously, especially here in Lee County, to get it done. I believe that's changed. We've got a different set of landowners who do not object to this. They simply want to work with you to make sure if it's developed right, as do we. So the proposal is, there's roughly 11 miles from the center of Armenia Road to downtown Albany that we have complete control over now. We have the trackage rights and then the property rights. I don't want to get into the legalities of it. But we have complete control of that corridor. We are custodians of the corridor. Remember, we do own the dirt, we do pay the taxes, but since it's rail banked, if there's a future transportation need, you will have to use it for that transportation need wherever it comes up. I think it'll be a long time. At any rate, we would like to prorate the acreage. We'd like for the city of Albany to take the property that's in the city of Albany in Lee County to control what's in Lee County. In the future, we will probably have complete control between Center Armenia Road into Sasser, which is part of Lee County, then it goes on into Terrell County. We'll deal with that when that happens. As for the structuring of any dollars, we'll work with you. You let us know. We don't have to have the money right now. In fact, we don't even have to do it, but we think the time has come for us to approach you with it.